Welcome to whatever the hell we're gonna call this.
What are we saying? Roy and Dylan question everything, or what?
There you go. There's the title. I'm your old Republican, and Dylan's the young woke.
I guess.
Leftist.
I guess whatever you want to call woke. Yeah. Shit.
But we'll see where this goes. I have no idea.
Let's go, man.
This is episode 1, man. What do you want to talk about?
Let's get into it, man. First things first. You think Gunna snitched?
Oh, man. Yes. No, I think from what I've heard is when you take a plea deal, you legally are required to do what the court. So if the court orders him to come and testify against Young Thug, he has to.
Yes, but he can also plead the fifth. You know what I mean? When he's called to testify.
What do you mean? I don't understand that one.
So once he takes the stand, and maybe I'll be fucking this up, and just from my understanding, I was told that so basically him taking the plea deal is just him saying that he's going to show up in court and testify. Mm-hmm. But they're saying that he has the option to get on the stand and plead the fifth, meaning they're going to push him back. So basically he's fighting the case with Thug now again. I
don't know, but it's kind of funny, this whole situation. No. I love everybody's take on it. Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks they're a legal expert, and everybody's like free Thugger and yada yada yada. Yeah. But I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with snitching, to be completely honest. That's just me.
Hell no.
But I guess people get it confused too, though. Like, it'd be different if he, isn't that like when you're with your boys, you're all in cahoots of committing crimes, and then you get arrested and you're like, they did it, right? That's like, you all have this in mind. Like, if me and you robbed a bank, and we got arrested, I'm like, it was all his idea. Yeah, that's snitching, right? Not me being like, hey, I saw them murder somebody. It was them. Yeah.
Well, so I guess technically, Gunna's case would be because snitches and rats are two different things. So a snitch would just be like somebody that was in the bank, and they didn't keep their mouth shut. That's just a regular snitch. They don't want anything from it. They're just. And
there's nothing wrong with that, being a law-abiding citizen and pointing out who did it.
I mean, I agree. To an extent. Like, for the most part, I've just always been like, and I guess and it's not even really like, not saying like I grew up in the hood, I'm around like gang shit like that. I'm just saying like, it's just more of a mentality. It's just like, and this is why I'm so against it. And this is why I can't stand Charles.
Oh, dude, that's my boy.
But no.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
I didn't know if I was pronouncing his name right.
Charleston White.
See? Yeah, no. For me, it was just more like, and maybe just because I'm this woke, social justice warrior, it's just more like, I'm not going to give another person of color over to the authorities. You know what I mean? And I guess that's kind of where like I see it, or where I draw the line.
I understand people's thought, but then think about it like, what if somebody who was murdered by them was your loved one, your aunt,
and most of the time it is. Hate to say it.
And your cousin or your best friend or your girlfriend or your son, like if you're older, like that's your nephew. Like, of course you want to see them. Like, it's weird to put it like in like, think about it from all sides, because I love Young Thug. I really did enjoy him. I've actually listened to his old shit here recently, because he kind of came back in the algorithm, and I understand, like, it's kind of what we talked about on the Patreon. I understand, like, it's different when you grow up in a different environment. But I just feel like as a grown adult with money, like, why are you still committing, allegedly committing crimes, including murder? Like,
well, I think you have to realize, like, a lot of these people, and we've talked about this before, it's just a lot of these people just get caught up. It's kind of like the way I like to explain it is like, it's like a toxic relationship. Essentially, you don't know how to get out. And I think that like he needed to do all those things to essentially get to the position that he's at today. I'm not saying that it was the right way to do it. I'm just saying that, just due to the circumstances he put himself, or not that he put himself in, but just the circumstances around him, he put himself in a better position to, support his family. And then you can debate with yourself.
Well, that's why I understand why the people who have been snitching on him are, because they're the younger guys. Yeah. You're young. Young Thug is like this fucking god probably to them. He's telling you to do things, you're gonna do it. I understand that. What I don't understand is like Gunna and Young Thug, they're supposed to be the mentors, the leaders.
Right.
And you're ordering people. I don't know fully what they've done and what they've committed. I never really looked into that. But I did hear, like, you didn't, the phone call, he's like, you didn't kill them motherfuckers or whatever.
Oh, yeah, y'all getting soft or
so
whatever.
I'm assuming murder is on the table.
Oh, murder. Yeah. So I don't know.
So it's like, yeah, Thugger, like, if you're doing that, you should be behind bars, no matter who you are.
Yeah, yeah.
And because I would like to look at myself as somebody who would want to be in a position of power, and that's what they are. So they're telling these younger guys, of course those younger guys are going to snitch on you. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing at the time. They're,
I mean, I see that for sure, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Like, I see it as betrayal because at the same time, like, for like 100%, you can say, yes, he's committing all these crimes, he's killing all these people, yeah, yada, yada, yada. But like, for me, I'm just looking at it like from a family perspective. Like, you changed my life, regardless of the shit that I had to do to get to that. And now I'm gonna. Now you
live by the sword you died by, right? I mean, that's why it should be a learning lesson. Like, that's street shit. Like, I don't understand street shit to the way they did.
Right.
Because you're right. I mean, you probably got them out of the gutter, like, legitimately out of, like, poverty. Mm-hmm. Of course they're gonna fucking kill for you and all that. It just sucks. Like, again, I just look at it from a position of power. You're making these young kids ruin their lives for you. Yeah. It's wild. Gunna, you are a snitch, by the way. To answer your question, I think he is. But
no, 100%. Well, so
save your ass.
I mean, I guess I don't know, man. Like,
here's a point Charleston White said. Even the mob, the fucking guys, the mob, and the Italian mob, they started snitching on each other. The guys who pretty much wrote the book started snitching on each other. They're gonna do it.
Right. Right. But I also think it's just because of, like, at the end of the day, like, humans are just naturally, like, selfish animals, and it's like, like, okay, for instance, like 6ix9ine situation, I don't condone snitching whatsoever, but like, his was an interesting case just because of the fact that, like, he didn't know those people. He just had them, like, put him on, and then, like, he brought them up with him, and he was getting them to, like, do all his jobs that he needed, like, editing videos, personal assistant, like, he was doing all that shit, but he didn't know these motherfuckers. He just was like, I know how to make this internet shit pop, and I'm gonna do what I need to do to get to the top. And then, but at the same time, used them and then threw them under the bus. But I understand that it was a two-way street.
Weren't they fucking on his girl?
It was. That's what I said.
It's over after that point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But at the same time, like, you chose that. You didn't have to do that. He wasn't. I mean, I'm not saying he was this entitled rich kid. I'm just saying that, like, he definitely knew the shit that he was getting himself into.
That's how I see the guys in Young Thug's case. I mean, they knew.
I mean, yeah, but these kids, like, really come from the trenches. These are not your, like, average, typical, like, high school kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Now I was thinking about that. Like, yes, you want to empower these communities and bring these communities up. You want to help them better the community.
Yeah.
But then you're destroying the community by murdering the people in it. That's kind of a.
I don't even think that they're looking at it from that perspective. I think they're selfishly like, I want to come up, and I want my people around me to come up. Because I've noticed that, like, even with me specifically, like, I consider myself, I guess, pretty social justice warrior. But even then, like, fucking, I'm definitely selfish sometimes. Like, I don't even care. Like, I've gotten to the point where, like, I feel like I want to help so bad, but these people don't want to help themselves, and it's just minorities in general, and therefore, like, I feel bad because I've kind of turned my back on the movement.
It comes down to that. They don't want, I'm not just in general. People don't want to help. You can't help people who don't want to help themselves. Yeah. Which is why I was like, yeah, most of the time nobody.
But also, I feel like it, this movement kind of gives, like, kids meaning. You know what I mean? It gives their life meaning. It gives them.
Oh, no, I'm totally all for that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you can't do that and then go and kill people in that community. What do you expect?
Yeah. But like I said, I just don't think that they're thinking about it from that perspective.
Oh, okay.
I think they're dead ass just being a little bit selfish about it. And I mean, I completely get it. Like, I'm not hating on it at all. But
yeah, it's an interesting case. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Young Thug will probably end up doing a lot of time.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll be a ugly sight.
And that's free Thugger. I'm going to say that one more time. Man, I just recently, I've been getting, like, super inspired by this man. Like, I didn't realize coming up, like, how much of an influence he had on like the newer generations to come. And I mean, I've always loved his music. I'm not hating or anything. It's just I've never been like super into Thug the way I was into like, you know, Kanye, Travis, you know, Rocky.
See, whatever. I was super into Thug.
Really?
I love the motherfucker.
Really?
Like that's how I get into it. I like pretty much worship guys, and I become obsessed with him. And I was like, I really liked his shit. He was weird. He's just a weird dude.
Yeah.
He was cool. Like I think he used to be. I don't want to give it any like praise anymore. I just can't because he might be a murderer, calling hits on people that makes you equally as guilty. But he was so cool up until a point.
I don't know, bro.
It just sucks that that's the route. I mean, because people come from that position and don't murder and kill and do all these things and make it out, you know? So it's possible. I don't know. I can't speak on it that much because I'm fortunate enough not to have been in that.
Right.
But, you know, just I guess it's easy for us to say that, but it's like, man, you're destroying the community you were trying to build.
Right.
And that really sucks.
No, 100%. I guess I kind of.
But I really liked him.
Yeah. No,
I did.
Without a doubt. Like, and in terms of Thug, like, from a music perspective, definitely changed the game. Definitely, without a doubt. And then he's going to go down as a great, but I don't know if he's going to go down in jail or
he's probably going to do. He might end up dying in prison.
And I had this conversation with my barber, or the guy I do the podcast with, Johnny, the other day. He's an old head, you know, and he's been in and out. You know, he knows the laws and all that shit. And he was telling me, he was like, look, he was like, at the end of the day, we can sit here and talk, but nobody knows the logistics of that case. No one but the DA or the DA, and then of course his lawyer, and then of course everybody in the courtroom. But for the most part, nobody knows.
Yeah.
But damn, I'll be sad if Gunna did snitch.
I'm pretty sure that they have a bunch of evidence stacked against the man.
Oh yeah.
Just it's too much.
Well,
even if they have cases dropped, he'll still have one fucking case. And he's fucked.
But he started with like 67, and now he's at what, like 7?
I think. Yeah, I thought
something
it was like 12.
Oh, I saw the other day they dropped it down to 7.
Still, 6 murder cases. Think about that, or whatever the hell he was doing.
And it's crazy too, because I don't know if you know, but you know they started this like they started this case in like 2014. It was like 2012, 2014.
That's what I was saying. They've built a bunch.
Well, the thing is that like they kind of like let the case go. They kind of were like, you know, there's not a lot of evidence to convict or whatever. This was around the time that, I don't know if you know, he was shooting up like Lil Wayne's tour bus because they had beef, internal beef, when he first got signed to Young Money. And it's crazy because so the DA at the time had dropped the case, or she just didn't really care. And then Atlanta got a new DA. And then that DA wants to make a name for themselves. So they're like, fuck it, I'm going to go for this high level case. Let's bring it back up. And I guess that's why so many of the charges got dropped, because they didn't have a sufficient amount of evidence to convict on those. But we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens, man. It's an interesting little thing going on. It's interesting to see people's take on it. Like, it is what it is. You know, there's people involved. That's what sucks, is there's families probably mourning because of this situation. So, you know,
we'll see.
You know,
I'm not going to go into that. But you said you had something you wanted to bring up?
Oh, shit is completely different than what you were fucking talking about. I'll tell you that. I saw on Twitter some other day, maybe Thursday. This man supposedly saw a giant in the mountains.
Oh shit! Yeah,
did you see that?
Yeah. I didn't get too into it, but I saw like a couple clips about it. You know, a couple TikToks here and there about it.
Yeah. Apparently, this fucking fella made a TikTok of him driving by the mountain, and there was a big ass giant on top of the mountain.
I saw that, and then apparently he's missing or something. So
that's where it got spooky. The next day they made another video and there was like helicopters flying over the mountain. Yeah. And then like he made a series of TikToks of like cars following him and shit. And then supposedly he's dead. Like,
oh, he's dead.
That's what I've heard. He's fucking dead. Let me see if I can.
I heard he was missing. I didn't know he was dead. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's fucking. I wanted to know if you had heard about it. I was gonna go through my Twitter and see what we could talk about.
Did you retweet it or no?
I liked it. I don't know what day it was.
Is this your?
Okay, so.
Oh yeah.
Here we are. I can't full screen it, but this is the giant. Supposedly.
That's fucking.
That's fucking. There's nothing up there, so I mean, it's obviously an object.
It looks like a man.
There's obviously an object on that mountain. I mean, there's snow, and I don't know. And then I know they were saying this fella. Maybe they took it down. Okay, so here's the helicopter. Oh no, that's a debunk. But this is somebody trying to debunk it. But that doesn't look like anything.
No, not at all. That does not look like it. And that'd be like super skinny too, comparison to what?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see that.
Yeah. See,
so it's like
yeah. I mean that
it's not a tree because there's no other trees.
No. How tall do you think it was though?
The fact that you can see it like that zoomed in, that's huge.
What are you thinking though?
10, 20 feet.
20 feet, you thinking?
It looks like it.
It's got to be more.
And so I know there was like a series. I don't know.
No, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I kind of like, I saw a couple videos on it, and I just had a question for you. It was more like, have you heard about the conspiracy? Like, or I guess it's not necessarily conspiracy, it's just a theory. And it's just talking about how like Hollow Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So, and how that kind of plays into like giants and stuff like that.
That things live inside?
Yeah.
I had heard aliens live in there.
Really?
Like an advanced, well, not aliens, an advanced civilization lives inside there.
Interesting.
So that's one of the things with the aliens is apparently there's like, they disappear in the ocean.
Uh-huh.
Somebody did like a Google Earth of like this part. I think it was off of like San Diego's coast. This is a big trench that just things disappear in.
Is it the Mariana Trench?
No, that's on the other side of the ocean. But there's like you can see it on Google Earth.
Yeah,
and it's weird that all these like UFOs disappear in the ocean, and that's what they're saying. Like their base is inside underneath the ocean somewhere.
Interesting.
Because they can
kind of like I guess kind of like Avatar in a way.
Sort of, man. I don't know. It's because if those things can just move in and out of space, they definitely can travel in water. And they just all live there.
How much of that do you like take part in? How much do you believe, if that makes sense?
In the UFOs?
Or in this Hollow Earth theory?
I don't know too much about it. It would make sense.
So the idea is like, I saw one. I saw a couple actually, but this is one of them. Is like, so during World War II, you know how Hitler got like super obsessed with Antarctica?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah. So apparently there's like these caves, and I don't know if you've seen, but have you ever seen like some of these like Google Earth images of like these mountain regions, and they kind of look like a huge head?
In Antarctica?
I don't know if you can pull that up, but yeah, no. And then I've seen like a bunch of other theories about like these huge ass spiders apparently that this explorer found when he was in Antarctica, like doing an exploration for, and it was, of course, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, but he, he was doing an exploration, I guess, some secret case or file or whatever the fuck he was doing, just, and in his notebook, he talked about these huge ass spiders that like were basically like prehistoric, like only giving in to the Hollow Earth theory. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen like the movie Journey to the Center of the Earth with Brendan Fraser?
No, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that? So it's basically that same series. It's just basically, Hollow Earth, and then everything in there is just still in this prehistoric state. So there's like huge ass dinosaurs, huge ass bugs, shit like that. And I guess that's kind of what that theory was playing into.
Who knows what the hell? I always think it's funny when like all these weirdos post like these dumbass like Facebook accounts that are conspiracy, but I'm like, what if there's some truth in that shit, man? Because I've seen somebody post about like pyramids being in Antarctica.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
But if you think about it, when that shit melts, because it's melted many a times throughout our Earth's history, it becomes a lush tropical rainforest.
Yeah, but I think just due to the fact that it's at the poles, I don't think it's going to melt that significantly. You know what I mean? I mean, I assume if we go through like...
with global warming, it's obvious that would probably be the only inhabitable spot for humans. So, maybe millions, thousands, 100,000 years ago. Something lived there. Maybe it was just humans.
That was one of the things I learned too, because I'm a renewable energy major, and one of the things they taught us was like, if we get to the point where global warming melts enough ice caps, we will be hit with like prehistoric diseases that will like.
Isn't that already happening? Like in Siberia?
I don't know.
All that shit, the permafrost is melting, so all these gases, I can imagine. All these gases and shit.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then somebody said something the other day. I want to say he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. You can tell we watch that a lot.
Love it.
But he was talking about how like he's ate frozen woolly mammoth that he's found.
Oh, that guy, Boneyard, Alaska. That's a fucking badass episode. I was telling you guys about that.
Could you eat that shit?
If you bought a piece of land and on that land was some fucking mammoths, skulls, and a preserved piece of that mammoth, you would eat it. If it was on your land and you found it, you would eat it.
These are some wild accusations. I don't know if I would eat it.
How could you not eat it? Like technically it's yours, right? You own the land, so you find it. How can you not eat it? Like if it's okay, I was gonna okay.
I guess just like think about like humans. There's always that debate like, is it wrong to eat dogs?
So did you watch the one he just did yesterday with that Sunny dude?
No, I haven't been caught up yet.
So he did I don't know. Let me find out his name. Matt McCusker and Shane Gillis were on today. Fucking awesome. So he did Sunny from Best Food Review Ever. Best Ever Food Review. This guy. So he's got a YouTube channel. He's basically like Anthony Bourdain, Andrew Zimmern.
Okay.
And he films himself going into these, I guess what we would see as exotic land and exotic people as they kill and prepare the food.
Yeah.
He's kind of just presenting that to us. He spent some time with his African tribe who are like the last real hunters and gatherers. And the first day he got there, they killed a monkey. Yeah. And they love monkeys. So one of the things they really love is baboon, but they didn't get one. Would you eat?
Oh, shit. So somebody else he had on. I want to say it was David.
Steve Arnella, man. He ate a monkey. Dave Cho or whatever?
Dave Cho. Yeah. He's talking about.
He spent time with these people.
Oh, same people.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, man. I feel like, in a survival state, I'd probably eat anything. But I just don't know, like having the access of shit that I have right now. And maybe I'm just, we're just so brainwashed into thinking like this is all you can eat, just because of like big corporations, funneling like this message. Like, okay, I don't know if you saw, there's a whole Susan G. Komen like breakdown documentary about how, they're the biggest like breast cancer, awareness foundation, whatever. They give millions and millions of dollars to these companies. But even then, like they're finding out that milk is like the number one cause of cancer, like in America. And they're trying to say that like Susan G. Komen is sponsored by Got Milk, which is the dairy industry. So they're and on their like website, they're like pushing certain diets to stay away from cancer. But in turn, it's just feeding the shit. So basically what I'm trying to say is like, in a way, we're all kind of like pushed to think that like it's not okay to eat cat because you hear all the jokes, you hear all the stereotypes, or it's not okay to eat dog. I guess
when you live in a society where you can go get food, yeah, what are you doing eating the cat? But these people are like they're gonna eat whatever they have to or whatever they can because they have to.
Yeah.
So I'm saying though, like if you were like one of the things I want to do is go to the Amazon and spend time with those people. Like I just want to see what that's like. If you're in this situation, I'm not saying you're going to seek it out, but if you're in a situation, would you eat a monkey? Would you eat a dog? Because they do eat dog in other cultures. I was telling my mom, like, the only conundrum I would have eating two things that people eat. Dogs, I just can't do it because I love my dogs and it'd just be too weird. And dolphins.
Oh, I dolphins are smart as fuck.
Apparently the Japanese really fucked those motherfuckers up.
Oh yeah. I've seen a couple documentaries on that shit too, bro. Especially in Korea too. Korea is real bad about it. Yeah. But no, it's funny that you mentioned that. I'm going to Peru in March.
Really?
And I'm going to spend some time in the what do you call it? In the jungle. So it's for my wind energy degree. But it's nice. Yeah. So it's just a week, and basically we're going to bring these tribes that have never seen a car before, and we're going to give them like Chromebooks and like access to internet and shit like that. And
does that make you feel weird?
A little bit, yeah. I don't know like how I feel about it. You know,
some neo-colonialism right there, buddy.
Oh yeah, 100%. And my professor was telling me, he was like, you know, you're going to run into some people that are like still completely naked, living in the jungle. And this is going to be, you know, such an eye-opening experience. And he was just talking about all the benefits and shit like that. But, you know, in my head, I'm like, who are we to play God?
What's the benefit of them having a fucking iPad or
So it's
whatever?
basically, the idea is like, basically we can get these tribes who are like very, very impoverished and, you know, down on their luck in our eyes. We're supposed to get them to have, you know, better opportunity for themselves.
According to us.
Yeah, according to us. Huh. And I can't criticize this, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I always wondered. Because, I mean, I guess technically it's good for them, modern medicine and shit, but whatever. I just wonder how many of those people really want it.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I've always thought like mission trips and shit like that were weird as fuck to me. And a lot of times, like, I feel like, you know, I'm not criticizing anybody's religion or anything. I just felt like, for the most part, is it kind of like just you making yourself feel better? You know what I mean? Because are you really helping?
I mean, I've heard, like, even on Rogan, like, some of those people when they go over there, like, these people need, like, you know, they got UTIs, they don't have, like, so they need some modern products.
Okay, but like, so.
Because I think there's like certain tribes that are trying to be modernized that want it. They want certain things.
Oh, I'm sure the one I'm going to do, I'm sure they want this.
Yeah.
They've been asking for it. But the thing is that, like, okay, you know, build them a well. You give them a lot of medicine. You give them antibiotics. You give them, you know, better access to cook food with. You give them all this stuff, right, to live better, prosperous lives. But do they need Instagram?
In the name of religion.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
That's I always thought about that. Like, yeah, like, I just wish I could go there to talk to them, because I would like, do y'all want this? Do you accept Christianity? Did you even have a choice to accept Christianity?
Right.
Because it's probably either I'm going to go to this church and live this life, or I'm going to fucking be starving in the jungle.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a weird.
So back to mammoth. You're eating this mammoth?
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. If I had the chance, hell yeah.
I don't know, man. And just like I said, just because maybe I'm brainwashed, to just my access to go get some canes is like.
But if you're in Alaska, you don't have access to shit sometimes.
I mean, I guess.
You're in a situation. But I don't think that was his case. I think he was literally what I'm saying, like, you kind of got to eat it. It's there. You fucking dug it up.
Well, you're also talking about a millionaire too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I would eat it. Just to say, like, yeah, that's... Why not, dude?
I would try it.
But you listened to that episode, right? They were all fucked up when they were eating it.
I think I just saw a TikTok.
Well, they were drunk. They were like, after drinking, they ate it. They didn't eat it right away. So
no, sorry, I couldn't do it. I don't know. It's just maybe something about like the whole like diseases and shit like that, and the way meat is. And
but it's been frozen.
Yeah, true. And then of course I'm sure like cooking it kills all the.
It's an interesting thought. I do want a woolly mammoth tusk.
The 1,000,000-year-old bacteria, you know.
I want a pipe made out of the tusk. That would be pretty cool.
Like a big ass one, or just a small one.
Well, because he has a shop. I haven't looked at it, but yeah. I mean, so apparently, like the broken ones they find, they make shit out of the broken ones.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, Rogan even had like a little apprehension about having it, and he was like, "You know how many elephants we've saved with this ivory? Like, this is like they've been extinct. This is ivory from extinct animals. Like, don't worry about it." That's how I see it. Like, you're not killing the animal. This thing's fucking already dead from hundreds of thousands.
It would have been fossil fuels sooner or later. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I could see that. 100%.
That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I would try it given the situation. There's not much I wouldn't try. Like, when you think about like I wouldn't eat a fucking lion or a tiger.
What?
I think some people do. Apparently, some of those
life or death situation though. This tiger's after you. You kill this shit. You gonna eat it?
Fuck yeah! If it try to kill, like if we're in that situation and we're living that life, and it try to kill me and I kill it, I'm gonna wear that motherfucker. You know?
Yeah. So, okay, but what about your life today? You know, you and your friends go.
I'm not going to Africa to hunt these things. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying you're hunting them. I'm just saying like you're just in Africa on a safari trip and just happens to come upon you and you have no choice but to kill it. Are you gonna eat it?
No way. Like I would be like, what do you do with these things? I would ask the locals, like, what do you do? I don't think they eat lions.
Yeah, but you know that's like a big.
But apparently, like the tribal people really, they asked one of these tribal people, like, what's the best meat? And they were like, elephant.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, elephant's the best meat.
So let's get into the morality of killing these animals. Just because I'm curious, what is it that you think people are holding back when they say, okay, we're going to eat this and we're not going to eat this?
Oh, man, I don't know. It's probably just like the shit you see all over, like, you know, modern life. I don't know. Because some people have like, I don't know, man. It's a weird thing. Maybe it's just because our diet is beef and cattle, or beef and pork and chicken, pretty much, and a lot, you know, it kind of ends there. My whole thing is like, how was the animal dispatched? You know,
what do you mean?
That's the only thing I think about. Like when I eat food, I'm like, I hope this animal was killed humanely as possible, with little to no.
You think about all that, like every
time you eat? I like with like a lamb, you know, it's a fucking baby.
Yeah,
like. It tastes really good. I had it, and I didn't know it was a baby.
I've never had lamb.
It was a baby goat. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
And I ate it. It's really good.
What's wrong with baby goat?
It's a fucking baby, man. They like little baby, like.
Yeah, but you know they do it with cows if they didn't want them to grow more meat. They would do it.
Calf brains, I heard, is really good.
Chicken.
But chicken, they're not mammals. You know, they're fucking dinosaurs.
So it's mammals. I guess that was my question.
Mammals. Because
you have a problem killing mammals?
I don't have a problem with it. I would hope that the sources I get my food humanely do it, because that's one of the funny things. One of the cool things about, you know, the rancher we did a podcast with was you understand why industrial farming is bad, but you also understand why they have to do what they have to do. Because herding 30 cows, which is what this rancher does, is hard enough.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard to do that. So you add hundreds of thousands of them. Some of them are going to get kicked and beat around, because that's just what you have to do to make sure these animals do what they're supposed to do.
I mean, yeah, but like at the same time, like you're going to be really pissed when you find out like half these, you know.
I know some of them.
I mean, it's all of them. Right.
Yeah, when you eat like McDonald's. Yeah, that fucking shit. And, you know.
Oh, I need you to watch What the Health on
I think Netflix. I've seen that. But, I mean, I also do want to raise my own food one day, so.
Oh, you want to be like real.
That's like the situation when I'm like, you know.
Yeah.
That's why also I see why hunters talk about what they do, because shooting and killing a fucking deer, it's going to die. Even if you like hurt it and it dies a little bit later. Have you seen a fucking deer get mauled by a fucking bear?
Yeah,
that is insane.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're killing it a little bit better than that, man. Wild. People don't understand like the shit that happens in the wild, like how brutal the wild really is.
Oh, yeah. It's the same thing. And then, of course, there was somebody on Rogan. I hate to keep mentioning that, but he was talking about how like all these vegans are complaining about, you know, like, oh, you know, we're saving these animals, yada, yada, yada. He's like, really? Because let's just say that you just want to eat vegetables. He was like, you do realize how many we kill, like hundreds of thousands of every single, like I want to say it's like 10 different species of animals anytime we farm.
Yeah, just based off Ted Nugent.
Yeah. Well, yeah, weird dude.
I love him, but yeah, he's a cool guy. Kinda.
He's like one of the spokespeople for the NRA, no?
He
used to be. I knew.
I wouldn't be surprised.
A rock star, right?
The NRA used to be cool. It's not cool anymore.
What's the difference?
Those guys are fucking nuts. I just think they're stupid. I mean, because they're out there whenever kids get killed, and they're out there.
Oh, you think that's lame? I see what you're saying.
Like, you know, they're out there spokesperson for like
talking
the gun.
About, like more guns. Yeah.
Come on, man.
But it's money. Relax. It's always been about that, Roy.
Yeah, I mean, I could fucking have a gun and be cool. Like, I understand, like, just, like, this sucks, like, that the one, like, small percentage of people are nuts on anything. Yeah. Alcohol, drugs, guns, everybody, that one little tiny percent ruins it for everybody else, so. Right. NRA are fucking stupid, man. Whenever these school shootings, I think it was Uvalde, and they started speaking out against that shit, I was like, man, you guys, fuck y'all.
I did I want to say I was like 14, 13, something like that. I did a whole, there was this thing called, fuck, I don't know what it was, but it was this huge fucking event. And basically they take kids from like a bunch of different schools and they make them compete in like this, like a bunch of, you can either write an essay or you can make a documentary. So I made a documentary about the NRA, and the shit I learned is fucking crazy. Like the amount of money that goes in to the NRA just off of school shootings alone. Like anytime there's a school shooting, the NRA makes like millions and millions of dollars. And just because, you know, these people run, they go get their guns, they run, they get NRA memberships, you know, and then they'll call the NRA like, hey, we want you to be in this section of our state or whatever, you know. But yeah,
they're a pretty powerful group in America.
They're so powerful, man.
Yeah.
But like Tyson's another one. Man, I didn't realize like just that. I just thought it was some fucking, you know, off-brand, the chicken.
Okay.
Yeah, the food.
He, the rancher I was telling you about, he sells some of his products
to Tyson.
Like they buy up, like these local ranchers, like if they can't, for whatever reason, they can't handle the shit that they kill.
Yeah.
Or they dispatch, sorry. They'll sell it off. Tyson will buy it. So like,
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I mean, yeah, they're the fucking, they ruined like the fucking health, like the shit going on with like the health in America is insane, man.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you have you ever paid attention to like the shit that they've banned in Europe in comparison to like what we banned here.
That's what I'm saying, dude. The American diet is wild. Like sugar is horrible. The fucking seed oils, the glycogen, I think is one of them. Like,
I saw
everything up.
Even fucking Skittles had a fucking lawsuit not too long ago because of their red Skittle. It was like the red dye or some shit like that was like really, really bad for us. And then you see like Mountain Dew Code Red and shit like that. Like who needs that? I don't know. I don't drink soda like that. If I do, I'll have like a Coke Zero or some shit.
You know what's crazy too though? Like speaking of like, I think even Lizzo even talked about this. Like this movement to be like, yes, we should treat everybody with love and respect. Be kind to people, like this sort of like I get the underlying message behind this woke shit.
Yeah,
I get it, and that's like kind of like being a good human being. But when I found out that all these food companies pay for the body positivity movement in America, like all the snack companies, they are like the ones behind.
And that's why I told you last time.
Shit.
I think you touched on it a little bit. I was listening to our last episode and you were talking about how like the hippies back in the 60s would hate the Democrats today.
I said they'd hate the liberals.
Well, yeah. It's a thin line. But yeah. No, I'm with you. But I completely agree. Because like, I think the hippies were more about like, there's a system that's above this two-party system. And you guys are trying to argue the two parties. And I always get into this with, you know, other people because they always want to be like, oh, those fucking Republicans or those fucking Democrats. But I'm like, I don't know, man. There's definitely a lot more going on behind the scenes that I don't think y'all are paying attention to. And it's like that in every industry,
goes, man.
Yeah. It's in every industry. And the thing is like, it's not really hidden. It's not. It's like the shit's in your face. If you can go and file for a class information act or whatever the fuck it is, but you can go and file for like, you know, whatever documents you want, and they have to give them to you. It's not a public information act. Yeah, sorry, my bad. But and nobody. It just seems like the masses.
Be careful with that though. They'll charge you like $10,000 for copies of paper.
Oh yeah. But that's their way of deterring you from doing that. Yeah, and then they'll have those like fees hidden and shit. That's crazy.
I think that happened to somebody. They were trying to stick it to them and.
Yeah.
They got fucking hit with like $100,000.
Yeah, I want to say it was like some professor, and he was like, he was trying to do like some research or some shit, and you know, he went bankrupt because of it. Well,
this was a different case because I think they were trying to prove something, and they asked for the information that was going to prove it wrong, and then they got hit with the $100,000, but a GoFundMe save their ass.
Shit.
Yeah, so they
See?
can like,
shout out GoFundMe.
Fuck yeah, motherfuckers. Yeah, so yeah, be careful with all. See, man, this shit sucks. All this money, all this fucking bullshit. I don't know, dude. Yeah, you gotta watch where the money goes. That's all my whole issue. Like even with the NRA, man, they're fucking backing everything. That's like, oh man, god damn it. You know what was crazy? Here's another story. Apparently there was gonna be a really high speed train. I don't know if it was gonna be a bullet train from Dallas to Houston.
Yes, I saw that.
But Southwest Airlines paid to lobby against it.
Yeah.
Southwest Airlines was the number one, like, no.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? You know all those truth ads to like stop smoking Juuls and stuff like that? You know they're paid for by Marlboro?
Yeah.
That's wild. It's like...
To be fair, you should probably smoke a cigarette, not a Juul.
I agree.
But,
too.
Yeah, dude.
But they're just because they're losing customers.
It's everybody's like... You just gotta watch the money, dude.
And you think it's like the World Health Organization or some shit like that, and nope. Sure enough, it's not.
Man. Yeah, you're saying it's easy to fucking find this information and people still go get. Did you see what I put on my story today about Lucky Charms being healthier than steak?
Really?
Like there was a food diagram. Let's see.
I didn't see that shit. But basically, like, was it just like the carbs or versus like calories or?
Too sure I didn't really look
sugars.
into it, but our Lord and Savior Joe Rogan posted it, so I reposted it.
I'm dead as fuck.
Or my Lord and Savior, not yours.
Well, he's
so right here,
he's definitely a big influence. Says Lucky Charms are healthier than steak. Interesting.
So, a legitimate independent independent's the main word. Kind of proved this was bullshit. So this is just what they encourage.
Interesting.
Aren't almonds really bad? Like the water they use for almonds?
I heard oxtail was like really bad and shouldn't be like consumed at all.
Like the food?
Yeah.
Hey, that shit's good. Have you ever had it?
That's what I heard, but I heard that like some of the properties in it are just not safe for human consumption, but we've just been making so much money off of it. We've been just throwing it under the rug.
That's a big black people dish right there, man.
Is it?
Yeah, they love that shit. It's really good though. That's when I had it. So, Lucky Charms is above canned pineapple with heavy syrup.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
Boiled or poached egg, whole milk. Like milk is horrible. Yeah. Almond M&Ms.
Yeah.
Non-fat mozzarella cheese. Mozzarella's really good though. Ice cream cones.
I'm
with
lactose,
nuts,
so I can't.
Whole egg fried in butter, cheddar cheese, and at the very bottom is ground beef. So there's some.
Oh, speaking of lactose, you seen that? Like they're saying like the reason there's so many more lactose people today than there have ever been is just because of the fact like part of that dairy thing is like, our body's not really meant to like take in dairy.
Eat it, right?
And just because they're making so much money, they're pushing it. And now these kids like today, this newer generation are developing like severe, like basically like sensitivity to lactose. And it's like, it's part of our evolution is like, we're not supposed to be eating this shit. And this is our body telling us stop. But it, like I said, question everything, bro.
I've noticed my intolerance for lactose recently. Like I had a Pizookie. You ever had one of those?
Yeah.
God damn, that thing was delicious, but I was miserable for the rest of the night, man.
Oh, I believe it.
Ugh.
No, man, I'll fuck up some pasta or some pizza real quick.
I love pasta. I made some earlier.
Yeah.
It's good shit, but you gotta watch out what you put in your body. But whatever. I mean, I guess that's our big problem as a country is we overconsume.
Yeah.
Like this shit wouldn't be a problem if you just did it every so often. Any of it.
Well, like, okay, but let's say it's not overconsumption, just like due to the fact, like, okay, like look at Italy as a country. All they fucking do, and I'm fucking jealous. If I move out this fucking country, that's the one place I'm going, or Tokyo. But I don't really like all the laws they have in Tokyo, but I mean, Japan, I'm sorry. But just, they don't allow like firearms. They're very, they're against weed, just a lot of different shit.
Well,
they're
super against weed.
Oh yeah. But no, Italy for a fact is like, their whole like culture is based around like enjoying your life. So it's completely like constantly. Well, for real,
they die like at 50 fat fucks.
I mean, I don't even care because check this out, bro. Their work week is like 3 days, and then on top of that, they get like paid vacation for like months on end. Then on top of that, they're the number one consumer of wine and pasta and just constantly eating and living these lavish lifestyles. Yet they're so much skinnier than us. Why?
Well, because probably they eat real shit.
Real food. Exactly. That's kind of
olive oil is really good for you, actually.
Really?
That's what they say. I was wondering what their
See, I've been using
GDP
canola
is.
oil. I need to go back to olive oil.
No, canola oil is really bad for you, dude.
Yeah, see, like I said, I need to go back. Olive oil is expensive though, bro. It's like $14 a bottle. Some shit like that.
Sucks. But you got to do it, dude. Like, these seed oils are super bad for you.
Really?
I was wanting to know what the GDP or Italy was on that. They're number 9. Not bad. Japan. Did you see we signed a deal with Japan to, like, as a joint space program? NASA and
Did
Japan.
we really?
That's going to be good for us.
I heard...
We got to compete against these fellas right here.
And maybe I'm tripping, but I heard that... Oh, fuck.
Well, that's the thing, man. They like launched their own space station by themselves. We have to complete. We did it with Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they're fucking years ahead.
Have you heard that thing about fucking Elon wanting to get rid of SpaceX? I heard it. Maybe it might just be a rumor, but that's what I heard.
Why?
Apparently, he wants to focus more on like
on Twitter.
Well, yes, but it makes sense why he's doing that. Have you heard about that? So his biggest thing right now that he's invested in is Neuralink.
Oh yeah.
So wouldn't it make sense for him to be invested in like any sort of like social media? Because, you know, at the end of the day, we're going to get to the point where we can tweet and text and communicate through the chips in our head.
I think they just like their second human trial for Neuralink, but it was to cure something.
Well, yes. So he's starting out with just the basic shit right now. Like right now, he doesn't want to...
Like paralysis and shit?
Well, yeah. Like, and then of course, like the chip can like sense when you're about to have a stroke and correct your bodily functions like around it. Yeah. And so he's starting out with that shit, but he was like, it's basically well known that we definitely can go in this direction with these chips. He was like, it's just a matter of, you know, ethics and things like that.
Quit the fucking bullshit. Everybody knows that's where it's going to go.
You think so?
Like to improve us? Yeah. It's not good. I mean, obviously, yeah, the first few, it should help prevent like things and fix paralysis or whatever the fuck. So yeah, it should be good, but everybody knows that's where it's going to go, like towards us being able to communicate in our minds.
So what do you think then?
I heard again, on a particular podcast, the scientist said that that shit's going to happen, but probably his belief was like not till like 100, 200 years from now. It's not going to happen.
I don't think we 30 have much years.
Time. Nobody knows.
That's true. No, that's true. I just think it's like, so I saw this thing about how
the ozone layer like fixing itself. So I mean, we might be fine.
There's like hints of it. It's not like it's not a super prevalent.
But I believe it though, because like in the 70s and 80s, they were pumping out lead and bullshit.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of getting smarter and cleaner.
Yeah. No, most definitely.
Yeah, I believe it.
Most definitely. Yeah. And then of course, like I just said, you know, most of these people that own these solar and wind projects, a lot of them are natural gas owners. Like,
God, dude, I was driving from Gale to Post.
Yeah.
And I saw like a big piece of land just flattened for fucking solar panels.
Yeah.
It made me so sad. It just looks ugly.
For sure. But the thing is like, I think solar is the future. I'm a wind
countryside destroyed by solar panels made by slaves in China. Little kid slaves, by the way.
Oh, 100%. I'm not negating that. I'm just saying that like
it was just ugly. Like I understand the purpose and good. If it does really outweigh the benefits of oil and gas, cool. But it was just ugly.
Have you seen the movie Old yet? So basically, it was the scary movie that came out last year, and it was about like these people that go on a vacation and they get stuck on this like private beach, and they start aging rapidly.
Is that a M. Night Shyamalan movie?
I'm not too sure. I'm not good with names, but fucking long story short, the premise of the movie at the end, I'm just gonna spoil it for people that haven't seen it.
Fuck y'all.
It was an experiment. Like they knew that it was basically something about the fucking rock formations or the sediments or whatever made your body age faster. But what they were doing was they were before they would put these people out there, they were like handing them like cocktails, but the cocktail had a drink in it, and they hand specifically picked the people that went there because like one of them had cancer, one of them had whatever, right? And but in the drink they were giving them like these new medicines that they were tasting, but they were trying to figure out if we can like instead of waiting like a lifetime to figure out if this drug works or not, they were speeding their lifetime up to a day. So it was like the lifetime of one person was like basically one calendar day, and they wanted to see how that like drug reacted with their body within that time. So but they were saying at the end of the movie, they were all clapping and they were like, look, like we understand that this is a sad matter because these people died, but they died in the name of science, and like this one trial is now going to help like millions and millions and millions of people. So the question is like, do we say fuck the land? You know, it definitely is beautiful, but we're going to be able to get to a point where a lot of people will have cleaner and cheaper energy. It's all a moral.
I looked at it though. I looked at it from the perspective of that's somebody's private land. They want to do that. Good for them. That's just what I had to tell myself. That's your land. You want to put solar panels, and it's gonna maybe,
that check's nice, right?
Maybe help yourself, maybe not. Who knows? Good. But dude, one of the things I'm no fucking expert. I'm not that smart. But one of the things I heard about the mRNA vaccine technology we do have, is that eventually in the future with AI. Again, I'm oversimplifying the hell out of this, but with these two things emerging, as it gets better, we'll be able to like pretty much inject you with something that cures you like that. Like, over 10 minutes. Something that takes, your lifetime. I don't remember what example, but like they can rewrite your genes or AI can tell you, hey, this is what's wrong with you. This mRNA vaccine will fucking cure it like that.
Well, and
no. It was with the trials. There will be no need for trials anymore because of AI. Will be able to detect it and just fix it.
AI is fucking crazy, bro. But no, and I'm all for it. But I think it's going to come down to lobbying again, because it's like same thing with the cancer research. It's that idea of like, do we have the cure, or do we just love the idea of getting paid off the treating the treatment?
I want to believe in science, so I'm going to say. There's been some pretty crazy groundwork.
What do you mean?
Even with the mRNA shit, like it's been able to help people with maybe not cure cancer, but it's lowered your levels of dying from it.
100%.
I don't know if you can cure it or whatever.
But they still have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to get it.
That's a government thing. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about this before we finish. What do you feel about like eugenics in the sense? Because I had heard that if you can... as an embryo, you can fix. I say fix. I don't know. So if a kid, the kid's going to have Down syndrome, you can change that. And one of the persons who was speaking out against this was a Down syndrome person. They were like, you're basically killing my people off if you do this. And I was thinking like, is Down syndrome detrimental to you growing up and having a normal life? You know what I mean? Like, why would you want to get rid of it?
Well,
like,
I think as a culture, we know the hardship. You know what I mean?
So it is a harder life. I mean,
there's money that goes
some of them have to live with people. Some of them can survive on their own. And do you get rid of it? Is that bad?
Yeah, it's a moral perspective at the end of the day, because like, okay, so you're going to ask like, is this, is he going to be able to live a normal life? But, okay, how many girls are like actively seeking like a guy with Down syndrome? I'm sure there's some, but like it's not a huge amount.
Yeah, like there's like 2 or 3 famous Down syndrome people who can like function, right?
Yeah.
Without any
so it's assistance. It's like, what's the quality of life going to look like? And then I saw this other thing. It was talking about how like the US is like the main country that is like just constantly okay with, having,
because they kill them people,
but in other countries
they abort them, right?
Yeah, they don't, because they know because it's at the end of the day, it's like a survival of the fittest kind of mentality. And I don't know, and I don't want to.
Is it bad to say like let's get rid of it? What the hell? Like it's weird. Like
I don't know, and it's crazy that you
should
said
you get rid of it? Like I was clearly like
I don't know. I'm not an expert on that,
because they are. Again, they can like live on their own, kind of.
Yeah. Well, I don't know though, because like, okay,
I wasn't saying aborting because that's what European countries do.
Yeah,
look it up.
They do. And I wasn't saying that either.
Like
don't
like the child has an embryo, you can fix it. I don't even want to say fix, man. It's weird just saying like, do you get rid of it?
I don't know.
Get rid of the extra chromosome.
And I've had this conversation with a lot of people. It can be really put in any perspective. It doesn't just have to be Down syndrome. Like for me, for instance, I grew up with my sister who, she has a disability. I'm not going to put her business out there, but she has a disability, and I know that struggle because like I growing up with her, I'm having to help her with certain things, and it's taxing. It is, without a doubt. And I love my sister. Regardless, she's still a beautiful human. She's, but even then, like me, I got ADD. So is that within itself a problem?
So if you and your wife are having a kid and they say this child's going to be born with the disability your sister has and you can get rid of it, would you?
Oof.
You can what's the word? Fix it? I don't know.
Or I guess alter it.
Alter her.
I guess it's alter
the child's DNA to not have what your sister has.
Well, hers isn't really that bad. I'd say Down syndrome is probably like a better way to, I guess go about this. And I'm trying to be careful about this because I don't want to sit here and sound like ignorant.
It's just interesting to think about.
It is for sure. It's just more like I think it's a matter of what you want and what you know as a person. Like for instance, I'm not very, just being straight up honest with you, I'm not very like compassionate and patient. Patient's a good word. So I don't know. I don't think I could give that child the best life it deserves. And I think that's where the debate is. I don't think it's about like, oh, this is a survival of the fittest, conversation. I think it's just more about you specifically and what you think. And I think that, these other countries are intolerable of that. And, it is kind of sad, but at the same time, it's like, who knows? Because at the end of the day, I don't think there is a right or wrong way to live. It's just, you're here. What do you think though?
I guess just like you're saying, power to the people, man. If it's like from a science perspective, I guess it's really cool that we can even do that. Yeah. Maybe you just give it the option. Leave it up to the parents. Like, hey, here's what's going to happen to this child if they're born this way. Here's the road you're going to go down, or here's the other option.
I think the main reason we're like trying to like dance around this topic
it's weird. It's a weird thing to think about.
Yeah. I think the main reason though is because it like I said, at the end of the day, it's all about, the quality of life that this kid is going to have. So if you genuinely think you can improve it, then by all means, I agree.
Two things threw me off was because I've been watching a lot of Nazi shit. They killed everything that was they deemed undesirable. They killed every person that was, and a lot of them were disabled. Yeah. And then when I heard the quote from the fucking Down syndrome person, it was like, "You don't do this because this is killing my people." I was like, "Oh fuck,
Is it though?"
So something like that. Don't quote me on exactly what they said, but that's kind of what they was like. You're making me seem less or something like that. And I was like, oh shit.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude, it was weird. It was like a weird quote about, because they were talking about eugenics or whatever, like the ability to.
I don't know how we're doing on time, and I don't want to take any more of your time, but I do have one thing I do want to talk about if we do have time.
Let's go.
All right. So I was talking to some ignorant fuck a long time ago, and they were talking about how like this person, their son was gay, and he was trying to tell me how it was I'm trying to say this without sounding dumb. He was trying to tell me how it's like there's something wrong with their DNA. That's how he described it.
So like Lady Gaga said, I was born this way.
100%. And I'm all for I'm all for the LGBTQ community, but it made me think for a second. Like I was like, wait a minute, is he trying to say that like because of the fact that our evolution has produced a man and a woman to reproduce, that somewhere along the line that there was something wrong with one person's DNA and then it continued to multiply to other people? Because I don't know. And that's another.
Maybe it is.
Another
I'm not saying right topic. Or wrong. Maybe it is like in your DNA. What if it is though? Like,
yeah, no. But how would we measure that? You know what I mean? Because love is something that we just can't measure.
I don't know, man. That's,
I guess, like through psychology.
People are obviously born attracted to their same sex, obviously. So maybe it is something that would get weird, because then you could actually take it out of them. It's the same.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what I was trying to say was like, you could really apply this to anything. You know what I mean? You could apply it to.
Well, here's a good thing, because I have it's in my family, a disease called, I don't remember what the disease is called, but it killed a lot of people in my family. It's your heart just stops beating. It's like some sort of thing.
Like a heart murmur or something?
No, it's not even, I don't remember what it's called, but it's killed a lot of people on my dad's side. Like that, really? You obviously want to get rid of. If it's a gene in you that you can detect in a person, and you would obviously want to fucking kill that gene and not have it. That's one thing you could do with it that's positive. Like in my family, hell yeah. Like if they told me my son was going to have it, get rid of it, you know? Shit. But other things like that, it's fucking weird to think about.
Yeah. It's just like, and I'm not trying to say that what he was saying was right by any means, because it wasn't. But I think it's like, you know, I like having conversations that push the boundaries of just the normal ways we think every day.
Yeah, but at that point, you really are playing God. That's when a comet's going to come and kill us all.
Yeah,
because that's
So you are religious?
Yeah, I mean, I think to a point, yeah, But also I heard, and this is why you need to know history, people, like back in the 1500s when glasses came out.
Yeah.
The church was like, no, you're playing God. So I mean.
Glasses?
Yeah.
Like.
Because you're altering the body God gave you. To be able to see better, like God gave you that body, those of your eyes.
What they want them just to sit still.
It's like, you know, that's how the church has always been though.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll come around to like, we can fix cancer and we can fix diseases. Let it happen.
So then maybe, just maybe, you know, it is okay to alter these things.
Some of them, probably. I just wondered about Down syndrome in particular, because that's an interesting, like, I guess you're right. Like, just what quality of life do you have as a Down? But I mean, I'm assuming now in these times, it's pretty easy, you know, as easy as it can be for them. Like, we understand it a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. Think about.
No, yeah, 100%. And like I said, you can apply this to pretty much anything. And
so people have a gay gene that you could knock out. It just erase. Imagine.
From them. Yeah, I don't know. But even then, it just feels like like at some point you're controlling. Yeah, and I mean, it's a shit we complain about because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you should have rights. So
who makes these rules?
So do you think maybe the kid should be born and be able to choose themselves?
I don't know. It's above my pay grade, man.
Yeah, I feel like we need some more qualified people to debate this.
Yeah, it's just I've just been trying to figure out how to talk about it without sounding horrible.
Yeah.
Because that's a weird thing. Once you can start designing human beings, like, where does it end?
Right.
Where does it end?
Right. And I just want to say this, by all means, I don't believe in altering like anybody. I believe everybody is who they are, and they, you know.
Yeah, obviously. It's just a fun thing to think about.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's interesting.
Quite the conundrum sometimes, you know, tough topics.
Most definitely.
Whatever. It's fun to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we weren't scientists.
Exactly.
Thank God. That'd be too weird. But so this has been episode 1 of, what are we calling it? I forgot.
I guess we'll figure it out. But I think, what, Dylan and Roy question everything? Roy and Dylan question everything?
Dylan and Roy question everything. We'll flip a coin to see if goes first. Yeah. But yeah, episode 1. Don't get mad at us, people. Please subscribe to the Snake Pit. Love you guys. We'll see y'all next time.
So.
Oh, shit.